Hello, welcome back to Ranting with Riley. If you're new here, welcome. So am I. So we're learning together. I am going to be working on my orange drunken granny blanket. I have actually done some more since the last time we spoke. So we're currently here. It's reminding me a bit of like Iron Brew with the fizz on top. I actually wanted it to be all this orange and have a cream as a border, but yeah, I ran out of orange, and because I'm using leftovers, I didn't have anything else, and I can't actually remember where I bought it from initially. So this is what we've got. This is just a cheap and cheerful one from Poundland, but it's very soft. It's lovely. So yeah, I get most of my yarn from like Poundland, Hobbycraft, not Hobbycraft, that's too expensive. The Works. The lighting's probably not very good today, so sorry about that. Where else do I get it from? Home Bargains. Basically anywhere where yarn's cheap is where I buy it from. Online, just at the cheapest places I can find, because I tend to only use it for little projects. So I thought I could just do some crochet with you today, and possibly talk about crochet and how I ended up learning how to do it. So yeah, my journey, I suppose you could call it, started many moons ago. I actually can't remember how long ago. But my mother-in-law mentioned that the Children's Hospital were wanting knitted baby hats, like for premature babies. And I was interested in helping out because I'd already done bonding hearts. I don't think I've got any. I think I gave them all away. But basically, bonding hearts were just, if you don't know what they are, they were just little fabric hearts that were made. That's a really bad love heart. There you go. Little fabric love hearts, and they came in pairs. You did them in pairs, and mom or dad or parent would have one, and baby would have one, and it was specifically for the babies in the premature baby unit in the NICU. And what it did is they'd swap them over every day or so. So the parents' one would go to the baby and the baby's one would go to the parents, because it allowed the smells to transfer. So it actually made baby happier and more likely to recover quicker, because they had that, and it was a smell of the parents. So yeah, bonding hearts, because it helped them to bond even when they couldn't physically touch, which was just a really lovely idea. And at the time I only sewed, so I did them. And then yeah, my mother-in-law mentioned the premature baby hats that they were needing, and I said, well, that sounds lovely, but I can't knit. And she's like, oh, I'll teach you. So she offered to teach me how to knit, and I did all right at the side of her. They weren't anything too drastic, but she's a right-handed knitter and I'm a left-handed knitter, and so I could do it whilst I was sat at the side of her. I couldn't do it when I got home, so I ended up having to go on YouTube and finding somebody who could teach me how to do it left-handed. But I made a few hats, and then realised I wasn't really keen on knitting hats. I made a couple for my partner, put one in the washing machine and then the tumble dryer, and the hat stretched so badly. it was not a good look. So unfortunately I ruined that one. But yeah, I've knitted quite, not as many things actually. It's mostly been hats I've knitted. I've tried knitting scarves, but I get bored because it's the same thing over and over and over again for too long. So I like things where things change. So like even with this pattern, it's a lovely pattern, and I appreciate the fact that I know what I'm doing the entire way through. But if I hadn't have had to change from the yellow to the cream, I would have got really bored already, because that's too long to do the same thing. It's too repetitive and it bores me. So now that I've got a different colour, it at least feels somewhat different. And I do plan to border it in possibly black, because I have lots of black spare. I've got sparkly black too. So yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be a bit of a Halloween-esque style blanket. But once again, it's for cats. They're not going to care what colour it is. As long as it's warm and cosy, that's all that's going to matter to them. But I do think I'm probably going to run out of this before I've actually hit the size that I need it to be. Because I need to do that much more, like the orange, that's that much more. Yeah, so you saw the one I was working on last video where I kept on forgetting that I was doing it. So that one's still in its unfinished state. It's getting there. I've not really done much more on that, but I thought I'd also show you, because I have other projects, and I figured if people are interested in watching and they're interested in seeing what's going to happen, sorry, dropped you, that you might want to decide what I work on next, because I like the variety and the changing things up and that makes it more enjoyable for me. So if you guys want to see something different or you want to see me try something new, then I can do that for you. So this is currently the back panel of a jumper I've been working on. So it's got like all the ribbon and everything. And this is just done in, I think that's single crochet back loop only for this bit, the ribbon part. And then it was half double crochets for the rest of the pattern. As you can see, I've marked it, so I know what it is. So that's cute. So that's that bit done, and it's really soft as well. Like, that's one of the cheap ones I bought, like this yarn, but it is so cozy, so soft. And I think, yeah, this is the front panel. As you can see, very handy, because I've used a different size hook on this one because the back panel ended up being slightly smaller than I intended it to be, so I obviously had tighter tension. So for this one, which I have not finished yet, I've gone with a bigger hook size, so it's got a lot more give. So hopefully the whole thing will fit once it's done. But yeah, I just like these little things. I got a tiny little printer, and it's handy. But like I said, having the hook size and what it is really helpful when you've been away from the project for so long. So I think I started this last winter, and I've not even got the front and the back done yet, and there's still a hood, there's a pocket, like a front pouchy pocket, and it's got, I'll find it and I'll show you a picture of what it's supposed to look like, because it's even got full sleeves. So there's a lot more to do on it, and I'll get there. But it's very nice, very cozy, and I'm really hoping that it's going to be something that I actually wear and enjoy wearing, because I do like my hoodies and I do like to be cozy, and I tend to get cold quite quickly, or at least I used to. I started these new tablets and suddenly I'm like always warm, and it's just really weird. I've always been cold. Cold, like, in temperature all the time. Like, this bit of my arm currently is cold, but the rest of it's warm. And normally my hands and my feet would, like, freeze you to the core. They were best thing in summer. You just, you know, oh, I'm too hot, and then put your hand on the back of your neck and cool yourself down instantly. But yeah, since I started these tablets, my circulation seems to be working properly now, and it's just weird. I know, odd that I'm saying it's weird that I'm at a comfortable temperature and my hands are warm, but there you go, that's what it is. And then one thing I've really wanted to do for a long time is like a sample knitting project, because I just love those blankets, and I have always wanted a fully knitted blanket just for myself, because it looks so warm, so comfortable. And then I realised that I've got cats and cat hair gets stuck in them, and then it's not that great. But not only that, I just don't have the patience to do a full-size blanket. I get bored. Really, really bored. So I thought, well, if I do a sample one, I'm more likely to do actual, well, to finish it, really. And so I started one. And I shall show you what I've got so far. I know this is a very choppy one, but these are the colours, because I picked up the wrong thing. These are the actual blocks. So I'm just basically using, for my packaging, I'm using, like, if I bought things from Shein or something like that, something where they come in extra big, I just use them for keeping everything contained. So yeah, this one, it was from a magazine kind of pattern thing, but it was a second-hand one, so I've only got bits and bobs. So we've got that one, we've got a regular one, got like a waffle pattern, I think. Blobbly one. Yep, blobbly, that's what we're going with. This one. This one, I had some of the really fluffy, like, textured yarn, which is lovely, and it feels nice and soft. But as you can see, you cannot tell what I have done. So I'll probably not be using that one again. And if I do, it'll probably just be to border things because it was so hard to see what you were doing. And that's just a basic knit. So yeah, really difficult. Got a lovely mint colour. I love this colour. And then there's this one. And then I've got a more patternedy one. As you can see on this side, I messed up the pattern midway through. And then finally, we have this one. So lots of different patterns. You'll notice they're actually doubled up. I've done two. So it's a reversible one. But now I'm thinking that these are really too small. I should have done them a lot bigger. But what I do, that sounds funny. Yeah, so when I'm doing a new pattern, I'll use I'll pull the yarn from the outside and cast on the first block, and then I'll pull the yarn from the inside and cast on the second block. So it gets a little confusing, but as long as you keep track of where your yarn is and you don't get it too tangled, it's actually really handy, and then it means that you're making them exactly the same because you're doing them at the exact same time. So just a little fun hint or tip there. Just do both. Kind of like I've made hand warmers, you know, where they kind of cut off here and there. I've done them, and I tend to do the pairs on the one needle at the same time. If you have two balls of yarn, that's even better. But if you only have the one, pull one from the inside, one from the outside, and you've got yourself two ends that you can work from, which is really helpful. So yeah, they're current projects in the works. I do somewhere have a little ghosty that I started making, but I don't know where he's gone, because my partner actually found me some glow-in-the-dark yarn. So obviously I was making a little ghost out of that. I do have other colours of glow-in-the-dark yarn. I've got a green, a blue, a yellow, and I've got spare white. So if anybody has any ideas what would be good to crochet in glow-in-the-dark yarn, please let me know. And if you've ever done anything like that, please send me pictures on Instagram. I would be very intrigued to see what all of you guys are creating. And if you do crochet along with me, I'd love to see pictures of what you're actually doing. Finished, unfinished, good, not good, I don't care. I want to see it, because everything that everybody makes is good in its own right. I mean, you've noticed in mine, especially, and I noticed when I did the editing for last week's video, this one has a hole in it. That shouldn't be there. I don't know how to fix it. So, I'm just gonna put a little stitch in and tie a knot. But yeah, errors, they're supposed to happen. Who cares, right? But even if not, even if they're absolutely perfect, I want to see them. I don't really look for new patterns specifically. I feel like I'm a bit all over the place on this one. But yeah, right, I was talking about how I actually got into it. So I did knitting and everything like that, and I learned how to do that, and I was alright at it, and it was okay. It wasn't something I truly enjoyed. It was more just something that I did, and I just wanted the final project of a knitted item. However, when I found crochet, that one worked better for me, because I didn't want to buy like 10 sets of the same size needles for knitting, because if you leave a project halfway through, you've basically lost a set of needles until you come back to it, and then you finish it. So I couldn't afford that. And I thought, well, if I can do crochet, it's just the one hook. I did buy myself a full set of hooks. I think I showed them you last time, but hello Nova. Pop you there. Sorry about him. Like I said, he likes this table, and I don't know what it is about it that's so intriguing, but there you go. Yeah, so I like the fact that with the crochet, you can... There we go. I've only put him on a pile of fluffy things. He's fine. I think he's comfy now. He's even sat on my biscuits. Ginger nut biscuits and chocolate nibbles. Don't know what. They're just really, really good. Yeah, so crochet for me was better because it allowed me to swap and change projects a lot without any issues. And undoing things and redoing it again, like I've just made a mistake there, and pulling that out is so easy. Whereas with knitting, I find it so difficult. It's like an entirely different process that you have to learn to fix a knitting project. Whereas with crochet, you do something wrong, right? Say that I've just done that one wrong, and you just pull it out, and then you start again. As long as you notice it, like when you're doing it, then that's absolutely fine. But like drop stitches and stuff like that in knitting, I don't understand how to fix. So I tend to just stitch a little bit and make a knot. Just so that sorry, dropped you again. Just so it doesn't fall apart. And then I also learn about amigurumi, which is, for those people who don't know, it's a style of like doll making and plushie making and stuff. And there's some really cute styles and designs out there, and I'll put pictures on the screen because I can do that now, of different projects that I've made. I've made Luffy from One Piece. I've made just some random girl dolls for my mother-in-law. She wanted to buy them for her nieces. I've made I think it was Hollow Knight figure for my partner's sister, because she was really into that. And yeah, I've done bits and bobs of everything. Oh, actually, I'll show you my knitting thing. So this is my knitting needle case. I made it myself, and when you look on the other side, it's actually mostly scraps. So yeah, that was just me using up spare things because I needed a place for all my knitting needles, and I had basically all these that I'd put together and had no reason for, so made a knitting needle case out of it. And my partner bought me the bamboo needles. They're not the metal ones, so they're nice. It took a while for me to get used to them, but I like them now that I've gotten used to them. I'm just trying to think what else I've made. I've made a blanket for a friend who had a baby. There's a possibility of another baby on the way, so I'm gonna have to get another blanket made for them. Yeah, to be honest, I started mainly with quilting, which this behind me is something that I've made, and on the banner on the channel, the blue one, that's also a quilt that I've made. That's actually on the other side of the sofa. So yeah, I tend to make things that I enjoy. I tend not to make things just for the sake of making them. It's got to be something that I enjoy doing, because it has to keep my attention. And if it doesn't keep my attention, then it's just sat in a box for the next 10 years. Another project I really want to do is like a temperature blanket. I'd love to do something like that. I just don't have the planning capacity and the drive to actually do it every single day, because I don't crochet every day. I don't knit every day, unless I'm having a bad day. And if I'm having a bad day, then I'm too tired to do anything, and I might not even do it then. So it's one of those things. It depends what my mind's doing. It depends what my body's doing, because some days I can't. I wake up and I'm tired. I'm ready for a nap, and then I can't sleep at night, and then I can't, it's difficult. But sometimes I'm up for it. Sometimes I'm into it. And honestly, having this channel and having people be interested it actually helps give me motivation to continue with the projects that I've started. And I'm actually starting to get to the point now where I'm worried that I'm going to run out of yarn and actually going to have to go out and buy more, which I suppose is a good problem to have. But yeah, I'm trying not to overwork myself with it, but definitely being on here is giving me a lot more motivation to get things done and to actually see these projects completed. So thank you all for giving me the opportunity to do that. And once again, if there's anything you want to hear me talk about, please put it down in the comments. If there's anything that you want to see me try, anything kind of crafty, as long as I don't have to think about it too much and I can talk and do it, because if not, I'll be doing one or the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you'll notice when I'm doing counting or something like that, I can't do that and carry on a conversation. So there will be certain things that I'll not be able to do on camera, but I'll definitely show you on Instagram. So like my little ghosty, I know I'm counting rows for that one and I'm counting stitches, so that'll probably be one I'll just have to send pictures of. But yeah, please let me know anything that you're interested in, any patterns that you might think that I could try out. Like I said, well, I've probably already shown you different things that I've already done. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me again today. This is where we're at now. Still looks like a very frothy iron brew or a very frothy Fanta, I suppose. But yeah, thank you once again for joining me. Have a lovely rest of your day, and if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.